Bayonetta 3 is right around the corner, and we've been given a lot to work with. While I'm working on a huge gameplay analysis behind the scenes, I wanted to make the time to discuss something really quick, but very important with you all first. And that is the names the characters were given in a short 1-minute Nintendo Direct preview. Let's not waste any time. Let's talk about Viola. She's labeled as the untested firebrand. Firebrand is a word used to describe a person who is passionate about any particular cause, and is usually associated with taking heavy action to make a big change. This fits Viola well, as from what we've seen of her personality, and even more so, her age. After all, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and most millennials are very similar in this regard. We have powerful stances on taking action against systematic flaws, such as climate change, corruption, lobbying aka bribery, and the spread of mis- and disinformation campaigns used to oppress minorities and those not of the 1%. Viola represents us all and our loud cries to action, and this name label stays consistent with that. The word untested also appears in front of us, which by definition means a person, idea, or object that hasn't been examined, experimented, or experienced. As she's been shown as the voice of reason from a faraway timeline, I imagine the characters might take a while to believe her about a threat they may not see until later. She, herself, may also come off as an enigma to our cast. She, as a person, is untested in the sense that she'll have to prove to everyone that she does, in fact, come from an alternate timeline. Platinum Games was very deliberate with their word choices, and I'm here for it. The next name is much easier to dissect, so we won't spend too much time on it, but Jeanne is labeled the Platinum Witch. Her hair is platinum blonde, her guns have platinum accents, her bodysuit made from her hair is obviously platinum as well, and to top it all off, she's Hideki Kamiya's self-proclaimed dream girl, and he's one of the leaders of Platinum Games. The real treat here, though, is Bayonetta herself, described as the Witch of Genesis. Genesis typically refers to the beginning of life. We know Bayonetta to be so, as she accidentally created infinite timelines in Bayonetta 1. Granted, Baldur is the real reason that had to happen, but still, Bayonetta herself sparked the original timeline fracture that created infinite realities the moment she dropped her younger self back into the past, setting off time loops that lead to something similar happening over and over and over again. If Cereza had never been put back into her timeline after learning huge life lessons from Bayonetta, then only one time loop would have ever existed. Of course, it would have been unethical not to bring her back to her original timeline, so Bayonetta didn't really have a choice in that matter now, did she? Now, this must make you think. Then, our previous theories that the Cereza we see in Bayonetta 3, being the little Cereza from Bayonetta 1, is incorrect, yeah? No, not at all, and I have several reasons to believe this. For one, describing Cereza as the Witch of Genesis does not necessarily only mean that she is the one who created the Genesis. She can be referred to as the product of Genesis, especially if this is the Cereza from Bayonetta 1, because she was, quite literally, the first anomaly that sparked a change in the timeline, which eventually spiraled out of control down the line to create more timelines. In some way, shape, or form, Lopter's plans always exist in every timeline to create a time loop to revive his powers as Aesir, and in each of those, Baldur is always brought to the present from the past, leading to him going back to the past as Father Baldur, sparking an event where a little Cereza from that timeline is then brought in and changed by that Bayonetta. The differences become vast though. Some Cerezas are more or less successful than others in their endeavors we experienced in Bayonetta 1 and 2. Our pure Cereza, as I call her, that I believe we're playing as in Bayonetta 3, and is the one we originally saved in Bayonetta 1, actually wins the fight against Aesir without losing the left eye of the world. We can see a gameplay clip in Bayonetta 3 where she uses Demon Masquerade and her left eye glows red. Platinum Games is deliberate with everything they do. this would not be an oversight from them. Beyond that, this Cereza has both of her red ribbons in her hair. Our Bayonetta only had one by the end of Bayonetta 1 because she gave one to little Cereza. She could not have recovered another one, as these were products of the Umbran Witches, who are extinct in Bayonetta's original timeline. So yes, Bayonetta is the Witch of Genesis, and that's in two senses of the word. She is both the product and the cause of Genesis, aka new timelines. She is always the anomaly, and somewhere among these timelines, she has a daughter named Viola who witnesses the eradication of an entire universe, sparking the events of Bayonetta 3 and the creation of the Coven of Bayonettas. I've been Johto Jonny. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Stick around if you want more analysis on all your favorite games. Peace out.